Thank you. And we're pleased to join all of you here today for the launch of Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson's initiative as the National Governor Association's chairman, K-12 computer science education. Now, as some of you know, each year the NGA chairman selects an initiative that can make a difference across all states and territories, showing the power of NGA to convene governors from both parties to identify and develop best practices that make a difference in the lives of their constituents. Past NGA chairs initiatives have dealt with infrastructure, workforce development, cybersecurity, energy, technology, healthcare, and many more. Our current chairman, Governor Hutchinson, has chosen to focus on K-12 computer science education over the next year. He has achieved great success at home in Arkansas, providing the computer science literacy needed for jobs in every career and preparing young people for jobs in the burgeoning computer science field. Of course, governors are problem solvers and solution drivers on a range of issues, and Governor Hutchinson is taking on this initiative as he and other governors work to provide for public health and economic recovery as we pass through the pandemic. So it's my pleasure to introduce Governor Hutchinson to discuss his NGA Chair's initiative and how computer science education can help economic recovery and provide for good jobs in every state and territory in the future. So let's give a warm welcome to NGA's Chair, Governor Asa Hutchinson.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill, and thank everybody for joining me today to announce and to go through some of the aspects of this initiative. Bill McBride is doing a great job as Executive Director of the NGA. We're really accomplishing more than imaginable, even coming out of a pandemic. My background, as many of you know, I served as United States Attorney during the Reagan administration. I was the youngest in the nation at that time. I served in the United States Congress. I was in the Bush administration as head of the DEA, and then after 9/11, I went over to Homeland Security as Undersecretary. And in all of those positions, I sought out bipartisan solutions, and I worked with those across the aisle to accomplish good things for my constituents and for America and to accomplish our responsibilities. And that is very important as governor, and that's really the role of the National Governors Association, and that is to bring people together to see if we can't find common solutions, ones that we can agree upon and work together to accomplish. And that's why I love the NGA, and I'm honored to be chairman through this year. The NGA, of course, started under President Teddy Roosevelt. He was a former governor, and he had an initiative that was important to him, which is conservation. And so he brought the governors together in 1908 to see how the governors could support a conservation effort in a bipartisan way. And I think as a tradition, we go through different governors who's been chair of the NGA, different initiatives, and it's really following a great example for over 100 years. And Governor Phil Murphy is my vice chair. We rotate. I'm a Republican. He'll be coming in as a Democrat whenever I leave my term as chair. And it's a delight to work with him, but all across the aisle in terms of an initiative that is not partisan. It is bipartisan, and that's generally the case with any aspect of education. And so my initiative, as Bill mentioned, is K-12 computer science education. It is an initiative that in my judgment is urgent and it is very necessary. It is urgent and necessary to meet the insatiable desire of young people and their thirst of learning, and it is also amazingly important to meet the demands of industry. And for those reasons, I'm here today investing my time in an initiative that was important and is important for Arkansas, but it's really important across the board for our country. And so today I wanted to announce some specifics as to what we can accomplish as a nation and the importance of governors in leading this important national security goal that we have. First, let me give you some background as to how this started. You saw the video, but it was really my experience at Homeland Security, and that was one of the reasons I gave some of that background. Whenever I was charged with responsibility for protecting our country from the next terrorist attack, as Undersecretary, I knew that we had our men and women in the military taking the fight to the enemy. But I also learned the value of the technologist, of the computer science geek that might be in the National Targeting Center reviewing data and determining where the risks were to our country. It was data analysis that helped accomplish our goals as a nation after 9/11 in a way that's consistent with our love of freedom as well. And so it was that background, and then fast forward, I had the opportunity to run for governor, made that decision in 2014, and during that summer, my granddaughter that you saw in the video, she was the one beside me when I signed the bill. She was 11 at the time, and she came to me and said, "Papa, I've made a mobile campaign app that you can download and people can volunteer, people can contribute to your campaign." That was a summer project that she and her dad had. And I said, if my 11-year-old granddaughter Ellabeth can do this, this is really something to be good for everybody in Arkansas. And so I think I'm the only candidate ever that would spend $1 million in campaign ads saying we need to put coding, computer coding in every high school. And people rolled their eyes and said, "You expect to get elected governor on this platform?" And we did. It was specific, people understood it, and they understood the future. And so when I got elected, I had momentum, and we implemented this in 2015 with a law that was passed in which Arkansas was the first state to actually mandate computer science to be offered, underscore offered, in every high school in Arkansas. And so you fast forward, that was 7 years ago. I've been governor 7 years, and during that time, we've made significant progress. Arkansas has been recognized by advocacy groups such as Code.org as leading the way in the Learn to Code movement. In fact, Arkansas was recognized last year as having the largest share of high schools that teach computer science as compared to every other state in the nation. And the Brookings Institution recently, and its extraordinary long profile on what we've done in Arkansas in great detail, they recently published a report studying Arkansas's role and started the report by saying that while Arkansas is not typically known for technological advancement, we have seen a rapid and inclusive expansion of computer science education in the state. And so that recognition means a lot to me when they talk about rapid and inclusive. Bothers me a little bit about not known for technological advancement when we've got some of the most technologically advanced companies in Arkansas. But I recommend that to you, that report from the Brookings Institution. My efforts, though, for this initiative, it's important to note, started before the pandemic. But the education challenges that we faced during the pandemic and what people saw as workarounds in education and in healthcare and in work by working virtually or doing telemedicine, people saw and visualized what computer science leads to and how they can solve problems in our society. And so today, coming out of the pandemic, through the pandemic, the need has never been greater to emphasize computer science education and take advantage of this unique moment in history when students see it, understand it, and value it. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, between now and 2029, computer science and technology jobs will grow by 11%. And a computer science major can earn up to 40% more than the average college graduate. This speaks volumes to the young people. Right now, there are over 410,000 open computing jobs nationwide. And so who will meet this need? And this is really a critical question for our nation to address. Will it be American students who learn to code? Or will industry be required to go overseas to find the talent that we need for the work that needs to be done here in the United States of America for our technology future. Right now, computer science courses are mandatory for students in 44 countries, but only 47% of high schools in the U.S. even offer the course. Now, I'll note, because it was a little dated, that video that you saw said that 1 out of 10, I said that when I was on Morning Joe, 1 out of 10 high schools offer computer science in the United States. And that shows the progress that's been made over the last 6 or 7 years, going from 10% to 47%, but it also shows how much more that has to be done for us to be globally competitive. Only 3 states requires all students to take a computer science class before they graduate from high school. 3, and Arkansas is one of them. And so the goal of this initiative is to make sure that U.S. students can meet the needs of industry and we don't have to rely upon skilled workers from overseas, or the other option is offshoring technology jobs. And those are not good options for America's future. As we know in the United States, the majority of H-1B visas are computer science jobs. Those are the skilled workers that we're bringing in, limited number, but they're filled very, very quickly. And there are only 3 paths that we can take in the future. We can just simply fall behind the world in technology and innovation. Secondly, we can rely upon overseas talent, as I've mentioned, and try to bring them in. Or we can go to offshoring. None of those are good options. The option that I advocate is that we produce the talent right here in the United States of America. But it takes the governors to be engaged in this. It takes national leadership, and it takes a new direction in education. There's another byproduct of computer science courses, and that is that students not only learn technical information, but they learn how to operate in today's workforce. Students increase their problem-solving skills, and they learn to do project-based learning. And these are the skills in today's workforce. That's what employers are looking for. It should also be noted that students who take advanced placement computer science scored higher on AP Calculus. Elementary students who study computer science basics outperform their peers in reading and writing. The conclusion is that computer science or coding is now a foundational part of education. Recently, I was in Denver and led a governor's conference sponsored by the NGA on computer science education. And so it's important that you hear from other governors as well. While I talk a lot about what we have done in Arkansas, there's many other governors, Democrat and Republican, that have done an extraordinary job in investing in computer science in their state and leading the initiative there. And so you'll hear from some of those in this videotape, and after we do this, hear from some of the other governors. I'm going to come back and talk a little bit more about some of the priorities that we made in Arkansas and some of the key goals that I have in this initiative for the future.